My name is Rich Risto, and I am a stranger in the strange land. And today, I'm in Changzhou, and what we're looking at here is the Beijing-Hangzhou Canal. In a way, this forms a kind of border between two districts, right? So, of the city. Like, let's look at the name here of the actual bridge. So this is Wujin Da Chiao, and that means basically Wujin Big Bridge. On that side of the river, or of the canal, you have Wujin District. This side, you have Tianning. Now, this canal here has thousands of years of history. Like, in terms of dating back, to earlier dynasties where canals in ancient China were basically the superhighways, and that facilitated just travel from one place to another and to commerce. Now, you might see coming up here, there is a barge. Today, the canal is not as busy as other days, but, this canal, this artificial waterway, was built thousands of years ago to facilitate commerce. And in China, again, if this was a busier day, you would see more than just this one barge and the two off in the distance. I think there's one about to pass under the bridge very soon. But case in point, this is living history. This ancient waterway that was built for commercial purposes is still being used exactly for that. But then there's other things to consider. That barge looks actually kind of empty. So does this dude. But anyway, there's more to this canal than just these two barges in this particular stretch of waterway. And let's piece that together and actually see the legacy of what is essentially, this is considered a World Heritage Site. Think about that. A World Heritage Site that is still has commercial industrial barges on it. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind here about the Grand Canal. But this is a historical marker. I'll get to my point in a moment. So here we have Zhejiang which is the Zhejiang Great Canal. Jing is abbreviation for Beijing. Hang is a abbreviation for Hangzhou. And so as old and historic as the Grand Canal is in China, especially when you get into municipalities like Changzhou, it is a mistake to think that it's just one single canal, where it's actually rather a network of canals. So like, this is a different parallel running offshoot from the video that I just shot earlier, where there were still canals and barges using the actual waterway. And as you can see here, again, if I go back and look, you see nothing on this part of the canal network. Now, the Beijing Canal, the Beijing-Hangzhou Canal, it is one canal, but this is when it's outside of metropolitan centers. Once it enters into a city, even in ancient days, it would break apart into a network. Again, if you're thinking about Chinese ancient history, it's effective to think of these things as liquid waterways. What I'm not going to talk about today is that historic looking building on the other side of this bridge here. That's BG Lane. That's a video for another time. Folk history in Changzhou, well, folk art in Changzhou of colorful painted combs. And the other thing I'm not going to talk about here, so this section of the canal is in downtown Changzhou. So What you don't see here behind the trees is Wuwei Plaza, big shopping mall. And over here, what we see here is the remnants or partially rebuilt remains of a Ming Dynasty city border wall. Another video on that one too. But this is just intended to be a sort of general introduction to the Beijing-Hangzhou Canal here in Changzhou. And so the point being is you have two main parts. This splintered off of the main one that, as I said, you saw earlier in this video, and which is still very much in commercial use after thousands of years of existence. So as I said earlier, it's not one Beijing-Hangzhou Canal when it passes through a city. It splits off into a network of smaller canals. And so here we are, downtown Changzhou. This is another sort of split off of many that, you know, make circles around the city. And what you see here is part of Changzhou Lane, which is being restored into a historical district, even though people still live here. So yeah, so this is a smaller waterway, still part of the Hangzhou Canal, that eventually leads this way, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment. But first, not to gossip, but that guy there fishing. I've seen countless people fishing in the canals of China. You know what I never see them do? And he's likely included. I never see them actually catch any fish. Now I'm literally across the street from where I previously just was. This is Changzhou Lane proper. 7 years ago this area was falling apart. It got sort of demolished and rehabilitated, and now it is one of the cultural attractions of Changzhou. Walking through here is a video for another time. But anyway, the parting note I want to leave on is many historical families and personalities in ancient Changzhou history actually lived in this area. And they were wealthy families. And so why would you want to live here? Well, you're living next to the means of transportation, and if you're wealthy, you own a boat or a fleet of boats or what have you. So, you know, by all means, this one certain stretch here that I'm talking about, you know, that's across the street from where I just was, there's a whole section of that I skipped, but following this particular section could be a video for another time. Following the other sections within this city and others can be videos for other times as well, because the Beijing-Hangzhou Canal is so huge and so old that, you know, it's a book topic unto itself. But anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, if you like to wander around like I do, safe travels.